Prefer when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good health.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, we are going to talk about so many things that happened in the world of combat sports. And of course, joining me is my co-host from Destroy MNL, JC Reyes. What's up, JC? How are you, boy? Nako, nawala yung audio. Nawala yung audio. Audio tayo, JC.
Oh.
Yan.
What's up,
Yan.
Pre.
Diba? Nag-alangan pa kami ng konti kasi ang lakas ng ulan. So parang sabi ko, okay. Pero habang tumatagal, sabi ko, teka, mukhang hindi titila to. Sabi ko, bahala na si Batman. I really hope that the audio is clear. So if you can hear us, please let us know in the comment section. If you can hear us, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, Coach Franco's Corner, and on MMA Davao on Facebook. Please make sure to follow and subscribe to our channels. Of course, JC Reyes is on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. Please follow Destroy MNL as well. And let's get to it, diba? Very notable na what do you call this? Mga laban during this week. We'll get right into this, and then we will do a deep dive into and a really good recap of what happened over the weekend. There are so many good things that happened in the world of combat sports. And let's take a quick detour sa 1FC, one championship. For me, the notable fights, yung kay Tan Lee and Gary Tonon, and then John Lineker versus Bibiana Fernandez. So let's hop on over to the Gary Tonon na laban. Kasi Gary Tonon has this hype around him. Being part of the Danaher Death Squad, he is a strict competitor. He is one of the most determined, high-level, elite grapplers, and he burst into the MMA scene na talagang he was determined. Okay? And speaking of determined, one of the best podcasters in the Philippines, Powerful Comics Man, Gerald Dorado. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much, Powerful Comics Man, for tuning in. Okay? Ayan, di ba? Ayan, tingnan nyo siya. Ayan, please follow him on Facebook and subscribe to his YouTube channel, The Powerful Comics Man Podcast. He also covers a lot of MMA. He's such a huge MMA fan. Diba? Yep. And of course, ito pinaka-importante sa lahat. Kailangan i-follow nyo yung page ito, The Sports Bin, Mr. Bin Cuevas. I love the photo. The photo. Nakita ko picture niya yan. Diba? And of course, yes, that is true. Gab Ferreras, congratulations to the PSA awardees. Nesty Petesio. Okay. Carlo is done Carlo Yulo, di ba? Jerwin Ancajas and Yumir Marshall, okay, the awardees. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for the things that you've done for Philippine sports and Philippine boxing. Now, going back to 1FC, when you watch the Gary Tonon fight, JC, and you saw the very first round, okay? First round, we all thought that it was gonna be over because it was Gary Tonon.
Yeah.
And then
nung nakuha na yung leg, sabi ko patay na. And yun nga, kasi we all know the guys in the Danaher Death Squad kung paano sila. When they catch you, it's almost certain na tapos na yung laban. Ganun yung ano nila yung that's ganun sila nakilala. Pero apparently Stanley had other plans.
He definitely had other plans, diba? Yung mga hindi nakapanood, JC, kwento mo kung ano nangyari.
Grabe. I mean, Stanley apparently had the tools to negate yung leg lock attempts ni Gary Tonon. And it was so good na he knocked the lights out of Gary Tonon. Nobody really expected that to happen kasi nga akala nila everybody was counting out the champ. I mean, he was the champ for a reason.
Tsaka tawag dito, there was so much hype around Gary Tonon. Diba? There was so much going on and he had momentum with him kasi he was winning grappling match after grappling match, and then when he burst into the MMA scene, when he got signed by 1FC, diba? Yung first few victories niya were TKO victories. And it
Mhm.
simply shows yung development niya as an all-around fighter. So he's not just one of those grapplers. Ano na rin
Yes.
siya? He has really good striking. So
Mhm.
pagdating doon, people had this expectation, and ako rin I'm part of this. I'm part of this crowd. Now I know that there's no, parang I don't see anybody in his division that could match him pound for pound
Sa
in grappling.
grappling. Yeah.
Ganon siya ka elite level, 'di ba? So pero yun nga yun when dito rin natin, this is where we see the difference between straight grappling and MMA.
Mhm.
Kasi
Yes.
when you talk about MMA, malaking factor yung strikes. Okay?
Mhm.
Hindi mo talaga, you can't count it out. Kasi the moment that you're going for what do you call this? A submission attempt, 'di ba? He was going for a heel hook. So if
Mhm.
in street grappling, ang kaya mo lang gawin is to counter and to defend. In MMA, there's a very crucial element. You can
Oo.
you can defend, you can counter, but at the same time you can strike. And this is
Mhm.
also evident doon sa pinag-uusapan din namin previously na yan yung combat jiu-jitsu. That's also
Mhm.
changing the landscape of how we view straight up grappling and combat grappling in general.
Yes.
So pagdating kasi sa
Minsan
heel hooks, pagdating talaga sa heel hooks, when you defend heel hooks, it's a matter of who has a really good base. So yun yung
mhm.
ginawa ni Tan Lee 'di ba? Are we saying his name right? Tan Lee?
Yeah, Stanley.
Oh, yan. 'Di ba? Talagang all he needed to do, he knows that he can strike. Okay, alam niya na kaya niya makipagsuntukan. So
Mhm.
ginawa niya, tumayo siya. He put a lot of weight on that
Mhm.
foot. When you put a lot of weight dun sa paa na hinihil hook, nawawala yung pressure.
Mhm.
And nakita naman natin sa ginawa ni Tanley, nakapag-adjust siya.
Yes.
Nag-adjust din naman si Gary Tonon, 'di ba? Nakita niyo yung sequence nung nakitang strike na siya, nag-overhead sweep si Gary Tonon. Nakita niyo sumipa yung legs niya, na off
Mhm.
balance si Tanley, pero
Mhm.
naka-recover siya, 'di
Yeah.
ba? So now, doon yun makikita na Tanley has two hands to strike. Gary Tonon has just an isolated leg. And
Yeah.
kailangan niya mag-transition doon pa ikot-ikot. Naalala ko tuloy yung
Pero
sige go
ang
JC.
yeah, ang isa pa actually nung pinapanood ko yung laban na after the results were out na yun nga na nangyari na gano'n na nga na KO si Gary Tonon. Iniisip ko, is this one of the yung holes ni pangit kumpara pero this is it's another grappler, another wrestler, si Ben Askren who
Mm.
was continuously winning even sa striking during his time so one championship and other promotions pero mostly he was better on the ground syempre pero in this fight kasi it looked like Gary Tonon was his whole game plan was just to bring the fight into the ground and dun niya tatapusin because dun naman talaga siya kilala. I mean he thought that his grappling was better than his opponent's striking kaya he was a little bit too confident na dali na yung fight sa ground to try to finish it there.
Ako I agree with you. I agree
Mm.
with that, bro. As in, alam niya na walang makakapantay sa kanya sa grappling. However, alam din siguro niya na lamang si Tanley in the striking department.
Mhm.
So, kailangan niyang tapusin kaagad yung
Yeah.
yung laban. And grappling in the very first round is the best way to grapple
Yes.
kasi you're not
Marami
yet
ka
too
pang kaya.
sweaty, 'di ba? You're not slippery, so it's the best talaga. It's the best what do you call this round to
Mhm.
go pure grappling. Okay? Ano 'yan? Ayan, may tanong ang ating premier educator, si Teacher Moireen. Ma'am Moireen, pag elite training po ba meaning is MMA po ba talaga? When you go about elite training, there's elite training depende sa sport. So
Yes.
for MMA, when you go elite training, you have to be at a high level of boxing or striking,
Mhm.
wrestling, and grappling or jiu-jitsu. Okay? Yes, good evening sa iyo,
Good
Gerald
evening, bro.
Paat. Ayan. Good evening din
Gerald Pat
kay
of MMA Shoppers.
yes, Gerald Galange. Lods, kamusta kayo diyan? Sana maulan din ba? Maulan din ba diyan? Tapos, ayan, sabi ni Relly Aguilar, shout out to Terence McKinney. Your hype died yesterday. Diba? Diba? Marami napigilan na hype
Oo.
train. Marami napigilang hype train.
Sobra.
So that was good. So it clearly
Yes.
shows, diba? If you have a good strategy, you can beat that.
Mhm.
Sana lang talaga na kapag it was just split second decision making. I think Gary Tonon didn't really realize na tawag dito na he would get hit as hard kasi he was on
Yeah.
the ground, he
Oo
got
nga eh.
hit. Tapos talaga tulog. As in, oh my God.
Totoo
Sabi ko,
eh.
first time ko nakita tulog si Gary Tonon. Di ba? First time ko nakita tulog si Gary Tonon.
Mhm.
And then, of course, syempre, that's part of the game. Losing is part of the game. This is gonna make him a lot better.
Mhm.
Better prepared for his upcoming fights. Hopefully, di ba, we'll see a better version of Gary Tonon.
Mhm.
Uh, yung
Maybe since connected naman sila kala GSP, maybe they should get help sa striking department.
bago pa lang naman kasi nagsa-striking si Gary Tonon eh.
Ah,
So
oo
we
nga.
can't really expect a lot from him, 'di ba? We
Oo
can't
nga.
really expect a lot from him. And the grappling, the another really good example about this, yung recent na RSF. Si
Mm.
si Kenneth Maningat
Oo nga eh.
versus sino nga ba 'yon? That fighter from Catalan, Paes
Mm.
ba? Guys, you have to forgive me. I'm so bad with names. Okay? Ako, admittedly, I'm a moron when it comes to names. Okay? Stupido po ako dyan.
Mm.
So, pasensya na po talaga kung
May comment
nakakalimutan
na
ko
lang
yung
yung
mga
pangalan.
pangalan nyo. Ayan, thank you, Bin. Si Paes from Catalan.
Ayun, Paes.
Diba? Ang tawag dito, yung, yung sequence na yon for whatever
Mhm.
strategical reasons, Maningat just went for a footlock all the time. So
Oo
footlock,
nga eh.
footlock, footlock. And every time na he was gunning for the footlock, all Paes needed to do was stomp his foot, lay it on the ground, and started punching Maningat to the
Mhm.
face. Maningat was able to capitalize on a lot of transitions. He had really good transitions. Kaso nga lang talaga, he was taking a lot of damage kasi he was just really, really keen on finishing the footlock. So, it's a similar scenario with Gary Tonon, and I hope na MMA fighters will learn from those experiences na parang if the footlock fails, you have to transition to something different, to a more dominant position. Kasi pag footlock, nakuha na ni Tonon eh. He was able to
Mhm.
make Tanli turn. So pwede niya sana sigurong kunin yung likod, 'di ba? Pwede niya sigurong kunin yung hips, 'di ba? He could have out-wrestled him, he could have pinned him against the
Mhm.
cage, and he could have had a better outcome. And then the next fight was
Yeah.
John Lineker versus Bibiano Fernandez. Your
Grabe
thoughts
yan
on
din.
this one? Your thoughts on this one, JC?
Actually, when John Lineker got signed sa One Championship, I knew this was bound to happen. Kasi compared sa UFC, One Championship has, may mga bagay na medyo mas maluwag in One Championship compared sa UFC. And John Lineker was no ordinary fighter anyway. Yung mga losses niya sa UFC were mostly from top contenders and former champions. Sobrang dikit pa ng mga laban na yun. Which only means na, he's he's no ordinary bantamweight.
Mm.
And yun na nga, nagtapat na sila ni Bibiano Fernandez. Bibiano
It was
Fernandez
bound
who
to
is,
happen. I think we were talking
yeah,
about this. That it was
yeah,
bound to happen. Okay, it was bound to
yeah.
happen. Mangyayari 'yon. So it was
Mm,
just a matter of
and yun nga,
time.
yun lang na sobrang grabe yung yung KO eh. Parang tumuwid yung dalawang pa at saka bumagsak eh.
Tsaka grabe 'yun And
It
prior to
was,
that, 'di ba? Yung nakita mo yung mga
mm,
during the break, yung welt ng dito
oh,
ni Bibiano, tapos namamagayan
malala na eh.
dito, tapos namamagayan dito. Sabi ko,
Mm,
wow! Sabi ko, ang lakas sumuntok ni John Lineker, man. And
mm,
and we are not going to discredit Bibiano Fernandez's efforts.
yeah.
There was a moment wherein he had his moment. As in, may isang sequence, good left hook, Tama ba?
Mhm.
Tama. Good left hook, straight to the chin. Diba? He went down, ha? He went
Mhm.
down. So, yun yung what do you call this? He went down and
Mhm.
he almost, okay, hindi ko rin alam eh. He should have stayed up. He should have played guard. Pero wala
Mhm.
eh. It is what it is. Very good knockout
Yeah.
victory. Okay?
Parang ano
Huge
rin to
knockout
eh,
victory.
parang striker versus grappler din to kasi si Bibiano is more known to be a grappler naman din talaga. And John
Oo.
Lineker is more known to be a striker.
Oo.
And yun na nga
Good knockout
nangyari.
power.
Mm.
Bibiano naman kasi multiple-time world champion,
Mhm.
elite level jiu-jitsu champion.
Mhm.
But we also have to credit some of his striking kasi
Mhm.
maganda rin yung Muay Thai and yung
Yeah.
boxing niya. So it's a huge win for John
Mhm.
Lineker, and ang tawag dito, it's a huge win for is this the Lineker era? Sinong dapat makalaban ni John Lineker, okay? I mean,
Yun ang
looking at
hirap isipin eh kasi parang yung
di ba?
momentum niya for his wins since pumasok siya sa one championship. Medyo yung mga outcome ng mga naging laban niya medyo matitindi.
Mm. Tsaka ano,
See,
lakas niya talaga.
once pa lang siya sa one championship, so he's now 4-0, and once pa lang umabot yung fight niya ng unanimous decision. That was back in 2019. Ngayon, after that, all of his wins were mostly because of knockouts.
Ayan, sabi ni Mr. Local MMA, Andrade or Kwon, Stephen Loman. Yeah, Stephen Loman is, ako, as the Pinoy in me, okay, Stephen Loman would be a good matchup kasi both have knockout power. Andrade and Kwon is another good option for John Lineker. It's very stacked division. And I mean, you can't, ito yung mga divisions sa 1FC na medyo okay panoorin eh. Di ba? Kasi medyo maganda yung selection nila eh. Now, let's hop on over to another international promotions. Brave MMA held another stacked card over the weekend, March 11 pala to be exact. And it was fireworks. Very good production to, by the way, may trivia po pala kami. Combat Sports Weekly is a media partner. Okay, Combat Sports Weekly is a media partner of Brave MMA CF. Okay, Brave CF MMA. That's Coach Franco says podcast, Combat Sports Weekly, and Destroy MNL. We are officially media partners of Brave CF MMA. Thank you so much to the amazing people of Brave CF for allowing us to broadcast and share your content and allowing us to, what do you call this, spearhead the brave movement here in the Philippines. Of course, we have our own na fighter dyan, si Rolando Gabriel D, di ba? Si Rolando Gabriel D, he is in one of the most stacked divisions as well. Okay, he is in the lightweight division, and we are going to talk about the winners in that event. Of course, in the lightweight division, Abdisalam Kubanshik. Okay? So that's si
You hear
Abdisalam
me?
Kubanishbek.
Ayun.
Yan yung tumalo kay Gabdi. Okay? So Abdisalam Kubanishbek beat the shit out of his opponent. Okay? And he became the interim lightweight champion. And immediately after the win, he called out Ahmed Amir. Okay, Ahmed Amir is the current, current reigning lightweight champ.
The
Pero
current
ano lang
lightweight
talaga, he
champion
got
sa Brave.
injured. Oh, he got injured, and for the longest time, he's been being called out by Rolando Gabriel D. Lagi siyang kino-call out ni Gab D. As in, call out. And then,
Yeah.
it seems like that a lot of people are already saying that Ahmed Amir is ducking Gabdi. And then he was supposed to fight in this card. And then he got injured. And then now, the people of Brave decided na, okay, we can't wait for you. We're going to make we're going to make an interim title. Diba? So, interim title between Abdisalam Kobanishbek and what do you call this? And after that, Kubanishbek really dominated with his striking, his wrestling, di ba? His dominance. His dominance inside the cage, good cage control. I mean, wala akong parang watching that fight, okay, he got his back, he got control. Basta, okay, so it's the Kubanishbek show against Clayton Silva. So afterwards, okay, and I quote, this is from Mohammed Shahid. So you can find everything on Brave MMA CF's Facebook page and Instagram. They're very active on YouTube and on Instagram. So that's at Brave MMAF. So Mohammed Shahid, and I quote, said, Kubanishbek deserves the interim title. He showed up, he made weight, and those strikes were not illegal. He will get his shot to unify the title with the champion Ahmed Amir next. Now, when this happens, okay, there's going to be a bottleneck. It will cause Kubanishbek's
Oo.
interim title and his ability to fight. Okay, and yung chance niya to fight for the main title will create a vacuum dun sa number 1 contender sa lightweight division. So please, sino? Okay? Who are your bets? Okay, who are your bets? Syempre, shoe-in na natin dyan si Rolando Gabriel D. Okay? So when that vacuum happens, para sa akin, dapat nandyan kaagad si Ayub, Amir Ayub. I hope that he's okay. I don't know what happened. Tapos Rolando Gabriel D. And then I forgot, there's another Brazilian or another French guy. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Okay. So ano yan? So again, this is going to create that vacuum, and who are the contenders in the lightweight division? But then again, thank you so much, Brave, for that really, really good event. And for me, the more notable one, okay, is the fight between Mohammed Fakhreddin. Okay. Napanood mo ba ito,
Grabe
JC?
yan.
Yung laban ni...
Mohammed Said.
Oo, di ba? And Sahid Mohammed.
Actually,
diba?
highlights na lang yung naabutan ko dito kasi inaantay ko siya na nalaban. And then, pag-check ko sa phone ko, bakit tapos yan?
Ano siya? So it
So
was
I had to rewatch it.
Mohammed Fakhreddin versus Mohammed Sahid Malem. This is a rematch of their previously highly contested match wherein it was ruled out na there were illegal strikes. Okay, so let's do it again. So Mohammed Fakhreddin, we were able to talk to Mohammed previously. Sabi niya, I'm going to be the 2-division champion. Mark my words. Diba? And it happened. It happened. Diba? He just became the first 2-division champion for Lebanon. And this is huge. Diba? Medyo hassle nga lang yung internet signal during the time that we were talking to Mohammed Fakhreddin. Pero when you look at him, his demeanor, the way he carries himself, and his grand plans for MMA in Bahrain and in Lebanon, he was fully determined, and it showed. No nonsense guy, and he won. Very good performance, TKO victory, and I mean, thank you, Brave MMA, for making this happen. So, with that, we will go back now to the Philippine Islands, ladies and gentlemen. Over the weekend, ang inyong lingkod po ay nagkaroon. I had the honor and the privilege to cover and do play-by-play commentary for the UKC Ultimate Knockout Challenge Tiger 22 boxing event there in the iconic Elorde Ballroom in Sucat, Parañaque. It was, ano ba kami doon? 13 or 14 bouts? It was a long night.
From the amateurs to the no?
Merong amateurs nung simula, pero ang tawag dito,
umaga, no? Parang umaga.
nung umaga. Pero other than that, dire-diretso na. I started covering mga 11 a.m. Pro card started 11 a.m. And it was amazing. It was an amazing fight card. All the fights delivered. I kid you not. All the fights delivered.
Grabe.
So, ang ano
When I
pa
was watching
doon,
the
teka
stream,
lang
first match pa lang nun, very, very explosive na yung laban.
Mm.
Comment ko nga na sa live stream, parang paano masusundan
So,
nung
paano
next
oh,
fight.
yun nga eh, 'di ba? Paano mo masusundan 'yon? So that fight was between what do you call this? Malfred Mahadas versus John JV Antonio. So please everyone, watch that fight. The entire event, okay? The entire
Yes.
event is on my YouTube channel. So just go in, Coach Franco's Corner.
Mhm.
It's on the live stream. Okay. I covered everything from start to finish. So it's John JV Antonio versus Malfred Mahadas. Okay, that was such a huge fight. Okay, huge fight.
Okay.
4 rounders. Tapos, what do you call this? Sobrang ano sila. As in, from start to finish, tuloy-tuloy na aksyon, walang tigil.
Mhm.
And sobrang hasa nitong dalawang to. So it was such a good, what do you call this? It was
They
such a
were
good
fighting for
boxing
4
match.
rounds, pero parang you were watching a whole
Mm.
12 rounds compressed in a 4
So
rounder, ano?
sobrang ganda nung laban ng dalawang yon. I cannot say and it ended in a draw and I accepted the draw. As in parang ako, yeah, tanggap ko yung draw na yan. Okay sa akin yung
Yeah.
draw na yan.
Yeah.
Tanggap ko yan. 'Di ba? I'm not sure who is merong hindi natuloy na laban dito eh. Pero
Oo nga, nakita ko sa stream, parang you mentioned
meron
isang
akong
hindi
merong
natuloy.
isang laban na hindi natuloy eh. Pero there's another draw. Okay? So merong isa pang draw dito eh. So 4 rounds I think it's the Bentoso Almacen fight. Parang alam ko ito yung isa pang draw. So I could be messing this up pero tignan natin. Then the next one would be Lawrence Rosas versus Justin Ace Tesoro. This is your classic matchup of a taller fighter versus a shorter fighter. Lawrence Rosas showed the practical tactics and the actionable items na pwede mong gawin if you're fighting a taller fighter. Maganda yung timing niya. Mas active pa nga siya. Tesoro had his shining moments. He was able to capitalize on his height and his reach advantage. Pero yun nga, parang may kulang na momentum eh. Medyo hindi niya na meron siyang he wasn't able to catch any type of rhythm and he wasn't able to bank on any type of momentum kaya medyo he came up short. Sino pa ba yung mga notable dito? Okay. So the next few fights were Ramon Basas versus Jason Bueno Obra. We got Albert Alcoy versus Giovanni Escaner. These are more notable fights. Ito yung mga buwelo na laban eh. Maganda yung performance ng mga fighters na to leading to the main card. Sabi ko nga eh, when after the event, I told Ate Kukoy, sabi ko, Ate Kukoy, this is one of those really, really good fight cards and event in general. Parang kung meron kang dream event, ito yon. Kasi all the fights delivered, it provided technical boxing, but at the same time, sulit yung bayad ng mga tao kasi wala eh. I mean, wala kang irereklamo. Ang ganda ng performance ng mga boksingero. They gave it their all. And then, pagdating na dito, Richard Pumikpik versus Pablito Cañada. Both of these fighters, di ba, just slugged it out. Diba? Everyone was evenly matched. It was a high level stakes boxing. And afterwards, Gino Rodrigo, Roberto Gonzalez, another really good matchup, diba? Walang yamado, I mean, this was one of those really kung merong isa sa mga perfect na fight cards, ito yon. And I've covered boxing matches throughout, I mean, the last 2-3 years. And this is one of those fight cards na medyo nakita ko talaga ang ganda ng matchup and at the same time nag-deliver yung mga fighters. So again, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga boksingero na to. I will say their names once again. So please follow them on social media. Malfred Mahadas from Marty Ilorde Boxing Stable. We got John JV Antonio from Caloocan. We got John Paul Bentoso from Siam Youth Nakmoy Stable. We got Jonathan Almacen from VSP Boxing Stable, Vietnam. We got Carlo Bacaro from Omega Boxing Promotions. Jimmy Borbon from Santa Elena, Camarines Norte. Side note lang tayo, thank you so much to Omega Boxing Promotions for allowing this thing to happen. As in, these are two promotions who lent fighters who agreed to pit their fighters against each other, and it was a huge success. Thank you so much to Omega Boxing Promotions. Ang galing ng mga fighters nyo. Wala akong masabi. It was a good showing. It was a good experience for fighters. And then we got Lawrence Rosas from Marte Elorde as well. Justin Ace Tesoro from Siam Youth Nakmoy Stable. Raymond Basas from Olivetti Boxing Stable. We got Jason Buenaobra from Marte Elorde again. And then Giovanni Escader from Marte Elorde. And Albert Alcoy from Marinduque. Pablito Cañada is from Zamboanga. And then from Elorde plus BF is Richard Pumikbik. From Batangas is Roberto Gonzalez. And from Olivetti Boxing Stable is Gino Rodrigo. Now, this is also leading to the main cards. Ewan ko, ako lang nagbibilang nito. Pero Arnel Baconaje versus Leonardo Doronio. Naabutan mo ba to, JC? Yung Baconaje Doronio?
Oo, naabutan ko yan.
Diba? How do you
Pero
see
medyo
Arnel
choppy internet ko.
Baconaje? Hindi, pero how did you see Arnel Baconaje's performance? Ako, while I was talking about this is one of the fighters under the VSP Promotions boxing stable na he keeps improving with time. Every time na nakikita ko siya umakyat ng ring,
Ito nga
pagaling
yung
ng pagaling, pataas ng pataas ang level niya.
pinag-usapan the episode before this event, diba? Yung mga sinasabi natin na itong mga sa fight card na to were ordinary up-and-coming boxers. Grabe, it's na we knew that everyone on this card would deliver fireworks for this event, which really happened.
Naku, nawawala si JC. Okay, ayan. Bumalik na si JC.
Wow.
So, it was a huge, event, and of course, having Arnel Baconaje in that card is a must. Leonardo Doronio proved to be a really good adversary. He had his moments, okay? It was just, na-dominate lang talaga ni Baconaje yung, he was at least a step ahead from Doronio. Again, in terms of offense, Doronio's parang he was lagging. Okay, medyo kulang siya. He was at least a step or two behind. The combinations of Baconaje was just there. And ang one thing that I find very, very particular, and this is a good thing for Arnel Baconaje, he's very methodical. He's very patient. Hindi siya nagigigil, hindi siya nagmamadali. He's picking his shots. And ma-attribute mo lang yun dun sa ma-attribute mo lang yun dun
isa sa mga very important no?
Important as in training lang yan, and what do you call this, time in the gym. As in wala kang pwedeng i-attribute doon kundi time in the gym, kasi nga drilling na yan as in na yan, it's just a matter of you taking the time to drill your combinations, yung paulit-ulit. Tapos syempre, when you're sparring Ben Ligas, you're sparring, 'di ba? Ranelio Kizo, 'di ba? Charlie Suarez, 'di ba? You're sparring all of these fighters na high level, 'di ba? Tapos pag may bumisita sa South Box, 'di ba? Automatic nandun ka. So it's good training for you as well. So it's amazing. Wala tayong I really hope na he gets to improve some more, and then he has more opportunities to showcase his talent. As always, you can never go wrong with VSP Boxing and VSP Promotions, Elorde Gyms, di ba? Mr. Robert Hill, Ate Kukoy Elorde, that was a really good card. And then let's go to hot and spicy. Michael Dasmariñas versus Danny Tampipi. Michael Dasmariñas won via TKO victory. Referee stops contest, and then the corner agreed as well. Said the corner ni Tampipi said na okay na, he's had enough. He gets to fight another day.
They waited for for the third round, pero parang nung second round medyo sabi ng iba, I mean even dun sa comments nung stream niya, sabi ng iba parang dapat second round pa lang they should have thrown the towel or stopped the fight already, kasi parang medyo hindi na nakakalaban ng maayos si Danny Tampipi noon.
Tampipi, oo. And Tampipi is one of those By the third round, sabi ko, okay, it's time to stop the fight. Pero
Yeah.
halfway through the second round, siguro pwede pa. Ang
Mhm.
tingin ko lang kasi, I've watched Danny Tampipi fights. I've covered
Mhm.
some Danny Tampipi fights. One of the, yun din yung sinabi ko in my previous commentary. Sabi ko, Danny Tampipi will take 3 so that he could give 1.
Mhm.
And he's a very durable fighter. Maganda yung endurance. Very durable. Sobrang tibay ni Danny Tampipi.
Mhm.
Pero yun nga, if you fight someone like a Michael Dasmariñas who can hit
Yeah.
and who can hit really hard, who has the speed, who has the power, who has the experience, you cannot play that game. Hindi ka pwedeng
Yes.
makipagsabayan. Hindi ka pwedeng, kunyari magbabarage yung isang Michael Dasmariñas tas
Mhm.
tatayo ka lang doon.
Hindi
Hindi
pwede
eh.
talaga eh.
Hindi talaga
Hindi
pwede.
yung dun sa laban na yun eh. Makikita mo kung makikita ng if you observe makikita mo kung ano talaga yung mga bagay na natutunan ni Michael Dasmariñas from that fight against Inoue na ginamit niya for that fight.
Yan, pakinggan niyo
Grabe.
yan. Yung sinabi ni JC. Okay, please, JC, please repeat this for the people who are watching and listening to us right now.
Usually ganun sabi nga nila, you either win or you learn, and that's what Dasmariñas experience nung laban niya kay Naoya Inoue. The same body shots na binabato sa kanya ni Inoue during that fight were the same moves na ginagamit niya dito kay Danny Tampipi during their fight. I mean, you know, what a way to uh, natapalan yung mga butas mo sa laro than to learn from your previous opponents and actually be able to use them for your future fights. Like, itong laban kay Danny Tampipi.
Tsaka ano yan this is exactly what we said the
Mm.
day after, and I posted this on my Facebook and on my
Yes.
Instagram, that losing to Naoya Inoue is probably one of the
Yes.
better things that happened to Michael Dasmariñas.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi ngayon, nakita niya na, ito pala ang level ng isang Naoya Inoue.
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba? Ito pala yung level na kaya kong makamit. Ito pala yung level na dapat kong habulin at
Mm-hmm.
dapat kong malampasan. And he took that experience. Dinala niya yung
Yes.
experience na yun pabalik dito sa Pilipinas. So ngayon, habang nagte-training siya, naaalala niya ngayon yung gabing yun. Naaalala
Mm-hmm.
niya na ganito kabilis si Naoya Inoue. Ganito siya kalakas sumuntok.
Mm-hmm.
Ganito yung footwork niya. Ganito yung hand speed niya. Ganito yung timing niya. So pagdating ngayon dito, bumalik siya sa La Union, nag-training siya, na-realize niya, okay, kailangan ko mag-push. Kailangan ko talagang bumawi, 'di ba? And look what happened, 'di ba? So far,
Yes.
2 comeback fights, 2 victories. Okay? 2
Mm-hmm.
comeback fights, parehong panalo. And this one, he won this with in a very
Actually,
convincing fashion.
yung nakaraan pala was, I think, was declared as a draw. Parang
Mm.
dahil
Yun nga
sa
yung sabi
head
ko,
clash.
I anchored this one. So
Oo.
dalawa kami dito during the coverage. It's me
Oo.
and John Yamba of PH Boxing Corner.
Mhm.
Sabi ko nga, sana naman hindi anticlimactic yung laban na to. Sabi ko, sana naman si Michael Dasmariñas tumagal ng mga 3-4 na rounds man lang. Kasi the first one, the return fight was very anticlimactic. There was like a
Mhm.
headbutt or a cut.
Oo parang sayang.
Tinigil, di ba? Naging, technical draw nga ba yun? Or
Mm.
basta it was a draw. I was like, hassle! Sabi ko,
Parang people
hassle.
were expecting a lot for a comeback
Oo
fight after
naman,
the
di ba?
Inoue. Tapos
Kababalik
biglang
mo lang eh.
ganun lang
Di ba?
nangyari.
Sobrang anticlimactic,
Mhm.
nakakainis. So at least ngayon, we saw a better
Mhm.
version of Michael Dasmariñas. We
Yes.
saw hot and spicy. The pop and the jabs were there. The pop
Mhm.
and the combinations were there.
Mhm.
When Danny Tampipi was a standing target, diba, Michael Dasmariñas made him pay for it,
Yes.
and he earned that TKO victory. Now, we go on to the next fight, okay?
Mhm.
John Estrada versus Jess Ray Waminal, okay? John Estrada, another prolific and highlight reel finish fighter
Mhm.
from VSP Elorde Southbox. He went up against Jess Ray Waminal from WLS Boxing Gym. Jess Ray Waminal proved to be another type of challenge for John Estrada. John Estrada has been the knockout machine guy for Elorde Southbox. Most, if not all, the fights that I covered, that had a John Estrada fight ended in knockouts. And it's very evident in his record. So John Estrada has 15 wins and 14 wins by a way of knockout. So ganun siya ka-consistent mang knockout ng tao. And when you see a John Estrada fight, you expect fireworks. You expect him to go all out. You want to see sinabi ko nga, si John Estrada, meron siyang kanang kamay ni Bathala. As in, when he throws that right hand, whether it's a right hook or an overhand right, wala na talaga. People go night-night. Okay? People kneel down. People drop to the canvas. And Jesray Waminal had his moments. Jesray Waminal had, what do you call this? Maganda yung strategy ni Waminal eh. Ang ginawa niya, he was waiting for John. He knew that he was the taller fighter. So at the beginning of the rounds, he was using his jabs. He was the taller fighter. This is another taller fighter, smaller fighter na situation. So Waminal was using his jabs. Another thing that he was doing right, he was waiting for John to come inside, tapos sasalubungin niya ng uppercut. And he caught John several times. Maganda yung timing ni Waminal. It just so happens lang din talaga that John Estrada was so determined to knock him out. John Estrada had patience. Yun yung medyo nag-improve kay John Estrada. No, nakita ko, okay, Estrada is not rushing. Sabi ko, delikado to. Kasi dati, yung mga unang laban ni John, if you watch it, okay, just hop onto my YouTube channel, Coach Franco's Corner. I've uploaded John Estrada fights there. Makikita mo, if he knocks out his opponent, di ba? Tuloy-tuloy. Bigla siya magbabarage. Yung medyo out of control. For this one, he was patient. Tapos talagang dinahandahan niya. So I was like, okay, now he's taking his time. Medyo delikadong fighter na to. What more pa kung matuto talaga maging, John Estrada is technical, but he's leaning a lot on his knockout power, and that's nothing wrong. Walang masama doon. Pero imaginein natin, paano kung mag-improve yung technical aspect ng boxing ni John Estrada? Paano kung hindi na lang siya one-trick pony na knockout artist, 'di ba? The way I see it, yung style niya, sabihin na natin his shorter, he's a little bit stockier. Kung matuto siyang, if he improves his footwork, if he improves his lateral movement, if he improves his ducking and his weaving, okay?
I'm back.
And of course, we
Ayun, I'm back.
got JC back. Yun yung sinasabi
Yes.
ko, ikaw, kasi sinabi ko ano yung mga, kung si John Estrada mag-improve yung technical aspect ng boxing niya, how dangerous would he be?
Sobrang. Kasi si John Estrada, nandun na yung power. Napakabigat ng kamay nitong taong to. I mean, sobrang exciting na mga
sabi ko nga,
laban niya.
nasa kanya yung kanang kamay ni Bathala eh.
Kaya, mag-improve lang tong isang to, si John Estrada. I'm sure he has the potential to become a world champion someday.
Diba? Definitely. So, kailangan lang talaga, sabi ko, mag-improve ng, diba? If he improves the technical aspect of his, if he, bigla na lang siya, he sets up everything with a jab. He sets up that right hand after huge quick combinations. Yes. He's gonna hurt a lot of people. Diba? And he learned from his previous, ang most notable for me was the Pablito Cañada fight wherein he got rocked as well.
Yeah.
Muntikan na siya kay Cañada during that Cañada fight. Okay, that fight as well is on my YouTube channel. Panoorin nyo. Watch out for, it was such a back and forth na laban. It could have gone either way. I thought Cañada was gonna knock him out, pero he proved everyone wrong by knocking out Pablito Cañada. So, again, this is your typical taller fighter, shorter fighter, and this time John Estrada won. Huge props to Jesray Waminal. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He did it properly. He did it the right way. Naunahan lang talaga siya ni John Estrada. Then the next one is Bienvenido Ligas versus Roland J. Biendima. Biendima is from General Santos City, and Ben Ligas is from VSP Elorde Las Piñas. This is to defend Ben Ligas's RP Flyweight Championship in the 112 pounds. Okay? So, ano sa tingin mo? Your thoughts on the Ben Ligas fight, JC?
Si Ben Ligas kasi, I mean, we know his caliber. A couple of fights ago, there was a very controversial
Mm.
loss under his resume na nabawi niya naman ng tuloy-tuloy. You know his caliber. I mean, this guy, grabe. Uh,
Mm.
even if you look at his record, I mean, you know that he can finish fighters if he can finish opponents if he wants to. And yun nga, I mean, this one medyo, it wasn't exactly the easy route, pero pinakita niya na he can last the whole 12 rounds if he has to. Marami siyang paon na hangin
Mm.
to finish his opponents.
Ayan, narinig pala ni The Sports Bin yung iniinom ko. Nagchatsa po tayo. Sorry. And of course, Chris Hoffman, brother, thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Switzerland.
Yes.
Diba? Chris Hoffman. There are plans to bring him home. So hopefully that pans out. And now, when it comes to Bienvenido Liga, sabi ko nga, Ben Ligas is one of the more technical fighters in the Philippines. Okay? Kung gusto niyo makanood ng very technical na fighter, yung scientific boxing, sweet science boxing, okay? You watch Ben Ligas. Diba? He's one of the fighters that I say he will methodically destroy you one round at a time. Ganon si Ben Ligas. During this fight, he had exemplary footwork, huge stiff jabs, really good combinations. Diba? Props to Biandima, he showed na hindi siya takot kay Ben Ligas. He had his moments, pero it was a total shutout by Ben Ligas. Ligas has this game. Merong style si Ligas na he will lure you to play his game. Diba? I-attract ka niya na laruin yung laro niya.
May
And si
trap
Ligas, long haul yan. 'Di ba? Sisirain ka niya round per round. Okay? Yun yung strategy ng isang Ben Ligas. Kaya rin ang ganda niya panoorin. Para sa akin, napakaganda niya panoorin. Of course, you can't please everybody. Nakita ko yung comment section during the live stream. Parang kung gusto ko, pwede ko lang murahin ko sila na, parang sabi, ang boring daw panoorin. Sabi ko, dude, hindi mo, yung lateral movement ni Ben Ligas, yung combinations na binato niya, sigurado ako hindi mo kayang gawin yan. Di ba? Yung habits ni Ben Ligas sa ring, okay, sabi mo, napaka-boring tignan. That is the problem. That's when people, casual fans, okay, do not have that high level of appreciation sa skill. 'Di ba? Natutuwa ka sa isang Lomachenko pero hindi ka natutuwa sa isang Ben Ligas. What the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
Diba?
I think
Now,
this is one of the things that one of the uh, those types of fighters, si Ben Ligas, na hindi ma-appreciate ng tao kasi hindi sila sanay sa style niya sa local. Kasi ang mga Pinoy na fighters usually alam nila puro bara-bara, mga kung
diba,
saan nagagaling
hindi
yung
kailangan
suntok.
knockout palagi, di ba?
Oo.
Hindi kailangan TKO victors good, pero hindi kailangan knockout palagi. And you have to appreciate yung level ng boxing skill ni Ben
Yes.
Ligas. As in, ang ganda niya panoorin. Now, syempre, you also have to, so after seeing all of those comments, I have to look at it from their perspective. Titignan ko rin syempre from the fight fans perspective. Maganda tignan yung style ni Ligas. Feeling ko talaga ang gusto nilang makita is the killer instinct to be developed. So iniisip ko ngayon, and I could be wrong, but I really believe that the moment Ben Ligas develops that killer instinct na parang bumato siya ng 6-punch combination, nakita niya nag-groggy yung kalaban niya or nag-jelly ace yung legs niya, he would go for di ba, he would pounce on him. Or people probably wanted to see more aggression out of him.
Yeah.
Di ba? They probably wanted to see more offense out of Ligas. Kasi ang nangyayari, nagiging reactive fighter si Ligas during certain times. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
This is not to discount his skill, pero sabihin na natin, what if, 'di ba? And paano kung nag-improve yung killer instinct niya? He would be a more dangerous fighter, but more importantly, from a fan's perspective, mas magiging fan favorite siya. Mas magiging entertaining na fighter
Mhm.
siya, 'di ba? Kasi syempre, ako rin parang iniisip ko rin naman, sige, let me put myself doon sa pwesto ng mga fight fans. Kakapanood ko pa lang ng isang John Estrada na laban, tapos bigla ako magbe-Benvenido Ligas.
Mhm.
'Di ba? So medyo siguro 'yun yung flow yun yung levels nung emotions ng mga tao
Mhm.
during that time. So I really hope that people have a better appreciation of his skill set.
Yeah.
And
And yun props again, props to the matchmaker kasi yung sequence nung yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng fights, grabe. How they
sobrang ganda ng
chose,
sequence ng fights.
diba?
Ang
How they
ganda.
chose the who fights next
Sakto
after,
Sakto yung leveling ng emotions mo, 'di ba?
diba?
It's like taking you on a journey, 'di ba?
Oo.
This fight card took you on a boxing journey, 'di ba? It has a lot of hills and valleys, and then
Mm.
it hypes, then it peaks dito sa last two fights, 'di ba? But
Oo.
it's such a storybook ending for this fight card. And of course,
Mhm.
the co-main event for this fight card
Ah,
for the WBA Asia Super Bantamweight title and the Philippines Super Bantamweight title is the fight
mhm.
between for defending champion
Yes.
Carl James Martin from Ifugao Boxing Stable versus Ronnie Baldonado from
Mm.
Cotabato. Your thoughts on this fight, JC?
This was the toughest fight for Karl James Martin to date. We
Mm-hmm.
saw that there. I mean, actually, may part nga doon na sinasabi, yung knockdown ni Martin doon. Some people are saying na that was a slip. Pero that was a clear
Mm-hmm.
knockdown. I mean, you were there. I'm sure you can attest na that was a clear knockdown, not just an ordinary slip dun sa laban na yun. So, and Martin got rocked a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
during the whole fight. I mean, this is considering na, apart na si Baldonado was out of the fight game for like almost 3 years, and he still managed to do this to Karl Martin. And of course, not counting out Martin, of course, he's the champion and now the WBA Asia Super
Mm-hmm.
Bantamweight champion. I mean, he was able to pick up his composure, and yun nga, hanggang dulo, kinaya niyang at least tapusin kasi I mean, he won via knockout, via TKO nung 12th round, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Or 11, was it 11th
11th,
round?
11th
11th
round.
round.
11th round.
Kasi naubusan na ng hangin halos si Baldonado.
Mm-hmm.
Sabi nga ng iba, if Baldonado had more gas during the fight, baka siya pa nanalo eh. Pero I mean, dito mo rin makikita, yun nga, kung sino yung who had the better conditioning. And Martin was the one who had better conditioning for this fight. I guess he was a bit more prepared than his opponent dun sa department na yun, which is good. Although this also showed a lot of things to fix in his game
Mm-hmm.
kasi there were times na parang wala na siyang maibato na hindi niya na alam kung paano niya aatakihin yung kalaban kasi everything he was throwing was getting countered by Baldonado. Almost everything. Yun nga.
Alam mo, during that fight, parang feeling ko, I was trying to review the commentary that I did with PH Boxing Corner. Para hindi kami marinig dun sa venue. Everyone was
Sobrang
shouting.
ingay.
Everyone was screaming. Everyone was on their feet. Just when you thought that Martin will showcase his talent, that Martin will show the usual flair, and it was there.
Yes.
Ronnie Baldonado was the surprise of this fight card. Diba? If there's one thing that I want people to take away from this entire fight card is to remember the name Ronnie Baldonado.
Yes.
So at least 2 to 3 years of inactivity took this fight. Sinabi ko nga during the commentary na Ronnie Baldonado will win 3 championships if he defeats Karl James Martin. So he gets the RP belt, he gets the WBA Asia belt, and then he gets to be the first loss of Karl James
Oo.
Martin. Diba? You get to be the guy to derail the Karl James Martin hype
Parang
train.
I think maraming tao dun sa comments were saying na ito na, mukhang this is gonna be the first guy to defeat Karl James Martin.
Diba?
Andito na, ito na. Unfortunately, maraming haters si Karl Martin dahil dun sa record niya na undefeated kasi mga Pinoy hindi rin sanay sa mga undefeated records
Hindi, pero
kadalasan.
walang masama sa undefeated
Yun
record
nga
ni
eh.
Karl James Martin. He went
Yes.
up that ring. Kahit na sabihin mong kahit na ano sabihin mo, bigay yung kalaban, masyadong madali yung kalaban,
Yes.
pangit yung record, pinagbibigyan si Karl James Martin. Here's the
Yes.
thing. Si Martin, umakyat pa rin ng ring. Nag-train
Yeah, you
pa rin
show
siya.
up.
'Di ba? Nag-train siya, nag-cut siya ng weight, 'di ba? Nag-cut siya ng weight. He was very professional about the whole thing. Trained, cut weight, showed up during the weigh-ins, made weight, showed up during fight day, and won. 'Di ba? So, on his part, ginawa niya lahat ng dapat niyang gawin. And you
Yun
have
nga
to
eh.
remember, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's watching and listening to this, Karl James Martin is still in the early stages of his career.
Yeah.
Bago pa lang siya. Technically, bago pa lang siya. 'Di ba? You can still consider him raw talent. Raw talent with huge levels of potential. And the hype is this big na. 'Di ba? So, sabihin na natin malaki talaga yung hype sa kanya. And I'm seeing, 'di ba? I'm seeing the hype. I'm acknowledging the hype, 'di ba? Pero tandaan din natin na pag nakaakibat ng hype na 'yon, yung pressure,
Yes.
'di ba?
I'm sure
There are-
sobra niyang pressured to
To
stay
win.
undefeated.
'Di
To
ba?
win eh.
You have this pressure to win. You have this and this is additional pressure ha. Hindi to yung 'di ba kahit kung sino man nandiyan, okay pag natalo, okay, 'di ba? Bawi na lang tayo next time.
Oo.
Ito, yung pressure para manalo, nadadagdagan. Okay, nandun na yung pressure para manalo, nadadagdagan pa siya lalo kasi gusto mong patunayan yung mga haters mo na mali sila. Gusto mong patunayan yung mga gusto mong maging sponsors na worth it ka ng iso-sponsor nila sa'yo. 'Di ba? Kailangan patunayan mo rin sa mga fans mo na hindi ka fluke. 'Di ba? Na hindi ka hype. Additional pressure sa iyo 'yon.
Yes.
And so far, he's doing a good job. Okay? So sabihin na natin, you can say whatever you want, but if you are on Karl James Martin's corner, you have to give the guy respect for sustaining this level of momentum.
Mahirap i-sustain yung
Mahirap i-sustain yun, man.
undefeated record.
Hindi, tsaka everyone is gunning after you.
Oh,
Di ba?
everybody wants to see you lose.
Everyone
That's more
wants to
reason
see you lose.
to keep the winning streak.
And that is
up
exactly
there.
what Ronnie Baldonado had, bro.
Yeah.
Di ba? He came in there knowing na, okay, walang mawawala sa akin.
Yeah.
Di ba? Walang mawawala
He has
sa akin.
nothing to lose and all to gain.
And he absolutely did that. Alam mo yun?
Yes.
He came in there, di ba? He was not afraid. The first thing that he did right was hindi siya takot kay Karl James Martin. Hindi siya takot. Kitang-kita ko pag-akat niya ng ring, yung demeanor niya, wala siyang pakialam na people were screaming, di ba? Maganda yung entrance. So, I mean, major props to the Karl James Martin, the Team Martin team. Ang ganda ng entrance ni Karl, Ang ganda ng entrance ni Karl. So, never mind the grand entrance, never mind that people were there to see Martin, di ba? They were there to see the Karl James show. Di ba? Sabi niya, I'm gonna be the spoiler. I'm gonna make sure that you remember my name.
He almost did. And ngayon, di siya
And he almost did.
makakalimutan ng Team Martin.
And it came in
For
the second
sure.
round. In the second round. Oh my God. As in,
Grabe. Sa stream, naririnig din yung sigawan ng mga tao and that happened.
sigawan yung mga tao. So, second round, they were against the ropes. And parang I was very worried na parang masyadong malayo yung mga looping overhands, yung mga looping na hooks ni Baldonado. Then came second round, nag-adjust siya. The moment he adjusted, instead of throwing an overhand right, bumato siya ng straight right or ng right hook, pumasok sa panga ni Martin, ni Karl, bagsak si Karl James Martin. So Martin went down in the second round and everyone on the side of Baldonado
It's wild.
started screaming. Diba? And then everyone in Martin's corner started shouting, get up, tumayo ka. For me, that was the pivotal moment. One of the pivotal moments that Martin will have. That, I mean, so far in his career, that's one of his most pivotal moments. Diba? You got knocked down, standing 8 count. Ano ngayon ang gagawin mo? How will you react? How will you determine your actions? Are you going to be are you keeping the confidence? Are you, 'di ba, yung composure niya? And pinakita niya yung championship level mentality, yung championship level composure. Pinakita niya na champion siya. Round 3 all the way up to round 11. It was a barn burner. Sobrang ganda ng exchanges.
Sobra.
Pero doon natin nakita na nagpantay. It was a battle of will. It wasn't a battle of skill anymore. This was a battle of will. It was a battle of heart. So, Baldonado was there to derail Karl James Martin. Martin was there to prove a point. He wasn't just there to prove a point to everyone. For me, the way I see it, Karl James Martin was there to prove a point to himself. Diba? Make or break na to. Diba? Dito ko makikilala yung sarili
Actually,
ko.
parang both guys were there to prove a point. For Baldonado to prove that he can derail that hype train, and for Martin to prove na tuloy-tuloy lang tong hype train na to. There's no going anywhere.
Grabe yun. Sobrang puso yung pinakita nung dalawang yon. Both Ronnie Baldonado and Karl James Martin. It was pure, it was a show of grit, heart, and determination. For Martin, it was, alam mo yon, do I surrender to this? Diba? Do I give up? Do I cruise? Diba? Do I go cruise on control? Diba? Do I just be conservative? Pero hindi. Halfway through the 6th or 7th round, he kept the pace. He just poured it in. For Baldonado, si Baldonado naman, hindi pa rin siya natakot. But, I mean, alam nyo, ilang beses pumapasok yung mga right straights ni Baldonado. Panoorin nyo na yung laban. Okay? So again, the full fight is on my YouTube channel. Maganda yung quality ng video doon. I kid you not, ilang beses tinamaan ng kanang kamay ni Baldonado si Karl James Martin. And Ronnie Baldonado was just there. It just so happened na Karl was able to take him into deep waters. Round 9, 10, 11, that's when Martin picked up the pace. So doon ngayon papasok yung sinabi ni JC kanina. Kitang-kita naman natin, the strength and conditioning of Martin was there. He was able to sustain everything. He was able to catch a rhythm. Feeling ko by round 8 was the beginning of Martin's rhythm. And then, he carried over 9, 10, 11. As in, tinuloy-tuloy na lang talaga niya. Tuloy-tuloy. Pukpok, pukpok, pukpok. Talagang tulak. Kulang lang talaga. Naubos lang talaga si Ronnie Baldonado. Naubos lang talaga. I mean, fatigue. He got drained. He was physically, emotionally, and mentally drained.
Going all out na eh.
He went all out. He left everything there. Everything there. Kitang-kita naman sa itsura nilang dalawa. And when the referee stopped the fight, you could see the glimmer. You could see yung victory ni Karl. Normally si Karl sumisigaw yan pagka-declare. Ito, pagkatigil ng referee, talagang hindi niya napigilan, sumigaw talaga siya. Tapos pagsampan ng kamay niya doon sa ropes ng corner niya, parang kita mo yung mukha niya, parang, ay, salamat, tapos na. Grabe yun. He went to war. Those fighters went to war. And it goes to show na minsan talaga kailangan mo ng kalaban na ganun eh. Kailangan mo ng kalaban na ipupush ka ng ganun. Diba? You get to know yourself a lot more. Diba?
And actually, from this fight, I am hoping na madaming natutunan si Karl James Martin na
Mhm.
iuwi niya sa gym pagbalik sa training. Ang daming, before he, katulad sinasabi ko sa mga iba ding nakapanood ng fight, before he debuts, kasi congratulations nga pala to Karl James Martin who just recently signed with Pro Bellum Promotions
Pro
for his
Bellum,
international
baby.
fights.
Oo.
Sinasabi ko nga na before he does his debut fights under Pro Bellum Promotions, he has a lot of fixing to do in his game. Kasi
Mm.
yung pinakita ni Baldonado in that fight, there's more where that came from, lalo na sa mga magiging international opponents na mga kaharap niya.
That's true. 'Di ba? And ano lang 'yan, tawag dito, what do you call this? Kailangan lang talaga, feeling ko they're going to watch that tape again. They're going to
Yes.
watch that fight and
Yes.
then they're going to make adjustments, 'di ba? Kasi dun mo makikita na okay, we have the speed, we have the quickness. We just need to add more variety. We just
Yes.
need to add more angles. 'Di ba? The speed, the quickness was there. It was there. So hopefully they do a lot of adjustments. They will definitely do that. He has a good coaching team behind him. Ang ano lang talaga is, 'di ba? Another added pressure na naman 'to. 'Di ba? Added
Yeah.
pressure. He just got signed by Pro Bellum. 'Di ba? so
Oo.
so you got your fans, you got your haters. Then here comes more and this is exactly what we want for our fighters. We want them to be signed by international promotions,
Yes.
promotions like Pro Bellum, Top Rank, 'di ba? MP Promotions, VSP Promotions, because we want them to showcase their talent, their skill
Yes.
sa ibang bansa, 'di ba? Kasi it's better for them, better payday, better opportunities.
Yes.
So, at least, 'di ba? This is a good step. And speaking of another champion, 'di ba? We have a new WBA Asia Super Featherweight champion. Charlie Suarez TKOs Tom Jun Mangubat in the 12th round and becomes that champion in the 130-pound division.
Isa
As
rin
always,
to, no?
the Charlie Suarez show is always a sight to see.
Yes.
'Di ba? Ako, this is just my opinion. Charlie Suarez is like Ben Ligas 3.0. Hindi nga 2.0, 3.0. Yan, ganon. Kasi Charlie Suarez is highly technical. Charlie Suarez is highly technical, very methodical,
Yes.
and he will finish you.
Yes.
'Di ba? Killer instinct, the personality to finish fights. That's Charlie Suarez. And he was very patient with his pro career. Every step of the way. Him and Coach Delphine Boholst devised this strategy, made sure that the their game plans were carried to a T. And now he is the WBA Asia Super Featherweight title. Your thoughts on that fight, JC?
Marami nagsasabi na, marami nag-aantay kay Charlie Suarez to become a champion. At least this is a WBA title, a regional title. This is one step closer to, I'm sure his goal is to become a world champion. And dito pinakita niya na actually itong fight nga na to, I think he wasn't exactly, wanting to KO Tom Jun Mangubat. He was treating Mangubat as just like any opponent na pwedeng makatalo sa kanya either way. He was not hindi niya minaliit si Mangubat sa buong fight. He was trying his best to make sure that he was taking his time para to pick his opponent apart and make sure that walang makitang butas sa kanya para sure na siya manalo. Yun na nga nangyari. He's now WBA Asia Super Featherweight champion.
And if you watch the fight, ang tangkad ni Tom Jun Mangubat. How the hell does that guy make 130 pounds?
Hindi ko nga alam kung ano ba talaga
idea.
height niya kasi I checked it. Sabi,
It's like,
supposedly
sabihin na natin,
he's 5'8".
sabihin natin 5'9". Okay? Sabihin
Mm.
natin 5'9".
Yeah,
Di
for a
ba?
featherweight.
For
Layo nun.
5'9", 130 pounds. Di ba? Wild. And he was doing
Mm.
really, really well. As in, ang ganda
Yes.
ng
Ganda ng
performance ni
ganda
Tom
eh.
Jun Mangubat dito. He was aggressive. He was staying in
Mm.
front of Charlie. He was active.
Example lang, I am 5'9". Kung 130 pounds ako, ano itsura ko noon? I'm sure hindi ako makagalaw ng ganun kabilis.
Diba? Diba? I'm like, what? Sabi ko, this guy's 5'9",
Yeah.
130 pounds? So
Mm.
sabihin natin 130 pounds during weigh-in, siguro mga 140 yan. Di ba? 140. Sabihin natin
Pero grabe pa rin.
150. Pero grabe pa rin, man. Grabe pa din. What are these guys eating? So,
Mm.
and they were both well conditioned.
Yes.
They were doing really, really well. It was
Mm.
nonstop action from round 1 all the way to round 12. It just so happened that Charlie's punches were harder. They were more accurate. They hit the spot. They were able to find its target.
Mhm.
I couldn't be any happier for Charlie Suarez. I mean,
Yes.
this guy deserves all of the accolades that he's getting right
Mm.
now, and I really, really want him to showcase his talent in the international boxing. As in, from WBA Asia, 'di ba?
Mm.
He's ready for that WBA super
Super
featherweight title
featherweight.
mismo. He
Mm.
can do it, 'di ba? I really believe that this guy is one of those guys that can do it. Ito yung mga pambato natin sa international arena. Yan,
Yes.
Charlie Suarez, Michael Dasmariñas, yan, ready na yung mga yan. Si Barriga, si The Baby Boy
Mhm.
Barriga, yan. 'Di ba? And then we got Yumir
Who's
Marshall, we
now
got
in
John.
Eastern Europe, right? Si Barriga is
Oo, he's
in
training
Eastern
in
Europe to
Slovenia.
train.
Yep. And then we got Yumir Marshall, Jonas
Mhm.
Sultan, 'di ba? So Pagara as well. Minsan nga yung ano nga namin yung YouTube live nga yung Facebook and YouTube live nga namin nakakatuwa eh. I was like, wow, tignan mo yung audience natin, no?
Oo nga
Yumer
eh.
Marshall TV, si Mark Barriga TV, si
Mhm.
Pagara, si Jonas Sultan. Sabi ko, parang hirap magkamali sa commentary.
Oo.
Sabi ko, parang
May
hirap
nasabi kang mali sa kanila, baka
may
magalit.
nasabi akong mali, baka sitahin ako na to,
Mhm.
nakakahiya naman para sa kanila. But again,
Mhm.
everyone who watched and listened to the live stream, the live
Mhm.
broadcast, thank you so much for
Mhm.
for your
Yes.
for your patience. Thank you so much for joining us, 'di
Mhm.
ba? Ang daming nag-cover
Yes.
ng event. I'm very happy na maraming nag-cover ng event.
Yes.
I saw a lot of boxing content creators there. I
Mhm.
saw a lot of mainstream media there. That is good kasi everyone is delivering boxing content and everyone is delivering and telling the story of these local fighters. So we
Mhm.
need more of that. We need more of
Yes.
that. Kailangan nating paigtingin yun. Kailangan nating palakasin
Mhm.
yun. Okay?
Yeah. And
JC.
about this one pala, before may question ako sa'yo before we try to answer this question ni Nico Picasso. He has a
Mm.
question kanina na lampasan natin about Eagle FC. Nakalimutan natin to. This last weekend, Khabib Nurmagomedov's Eagle FC did an event, their second event in Miami. And this question, Nico's question was, do we think daw na Eagle FC can rival the big three MMA organizations, UFC 1 and Bellator, with their current momentum?
Well, it really depends on how what do you call this? Khabib
Mm.
will do matchups. He's
Mhm.
signing a lot of medyo fan favorite fighters. So you got Kevin
Yeah.
Lee, you got Nico Sanchez,
Mhm.
'di ba? You
Ray
got
Borg is there now.
you know,
Si Ray Borg, nandun na rin.
si Ray Borg, ayan. Dylan Danis, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So you have people na pwede magdala ng attention to your league. Now it's just a
Mhm.
matter of creating fights and events and paying them the way that they're supposed to, 'di ba? If you're saying that you're going to pay fair or you're going to pay whatever is needed for these fighters, then it's good, 'di ba? Pero Eagle FC is
Yes.
still very new eh. It's relatively new. There's hype
Yeah.
around it because of Khabib. Now, he needs to ride that
Yeah.
momentum and make fight cards. He needs to make fight cards that deliver.
Mhm.
And tandaan natin
Yes.
you're promoting in the US, bukod sa mga sa mga regional, sa mga statewide na
Hirap yun.
MMA promotions, you are competing against the UFC, Bellator, PFL. So you have to
Mhm.
you have to be exceptional.
Yes.
How are you going to set yourself apart from the rest? So we'll see. They're very new, fairly new. Anything's up in there. Hindi natin
Mhm.
alam, hindi natin alam.
Actually, yun yung ano nila next event nila after nung event this week, actually, on May pala, on May 20, grabe yung headliner nito They actually got to sign Junior Dos Santos. He's gonna fight Jorgan De Castro. And then co-main event is Hector Lombard versus Thiago Silva.
Oh, ayan, 'di ba? Not
Grabe din
bad.
yung
So
mga
Thiago
pangalan sinasign
Silva,
nila, di
Junior
ba?
Dos Santos, 'di ba? Hector Lombard. These
Mm.
are fighters past their primes pero may fan base pa rin kahit
Mm.
papaano, 'di ba? People are still
Yeah.
curious to see these people fight.
Parang
So
parang I think nga based
hopefully
on
they get to sign
you,
notable fighters.
kasi parang I don't know, feeling ko lang based on my observation, parang ginagamit nila tong Eagle FC to to try to boost yung resume ng mga ibang fighters din from Europe and from the Middle East, kasi karamihan ng ibang fighters na pinapasok nila dito are from Eastern Europe and from karamihan nga mga fighters din ni Khabib under his gym na needs to boost their resume, and I'm sure ang target pa rin kasi nito mga to is most likely to get signed by the UFC. I'm sure may mga
Really
fighters
depends.
din
Really
yan.
depends on Really
Unless
depends
sumabog
on,
ng matindi yung pangalan ng Eagle FC do. Pero matagal-tagal
'di
pa
ba?
yun.
It really depends
Mm.
on ano ba sino ba yung mga kalaban nila? Tsaka sino yung mga fight card? Sino yung fighter sa fight card nila? Chen, distribution. Distribution is very important as well. So, ano yung distribution channels nila? So, let's see. Everything's up in the air. Okay? Everything's up in the air. They're fairly new. Let's see kung ano yung hype trains na gagawin nila. Ano yung mga strategies na i-employ nila. 'Di ba? Good times to. This is high times for MMA promotions kasi at least makikita natin na, uy, pagka wala na sa UFC, pwede ka mag-Bellator, pwede ka mag-PFL, 'di ba? Kaya may Eagle FC. It's very interesting. Interesting times. So we hope you answered that question. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, everyone.
And yun nga, ang isang question ko is, one last question. Ito, medyo nakikita natin yung controversy nito
Wala si Jason.
after every event. And you have been trained in broadcasting under the Noel Zarate. Is there an etiquette, a proper etiquette that you have to follow when doing commentating work? Kasi parang medyo
we're talking about the we're
bagay.
talking about the Martin Camp and the Pau Salud We're talking about the Martin Camp and the Pau Salud thing. Na gano yan kasi Carl James Martin's brother, si Jared or J-Red, I hope I got that name right. So he posted something about yun nga, he was talking about the commentary of Pau Salud and the way he was, it's the way Pau was able to what do you call this, his delivery. The problem was the conflict started with his delivery of yung commentary niya, yung live commentary niya of Martin's fight versus Ronnie Baldonado, wherein ang pinaka-quote niya doon was nanahimik po ang mga Ifugao at ang mga iglesia ni Cristo. So it's like, so I saw that. Someone sent me that so ako, well, you can compare the way I do commentary with the way Pau is doing commentary. Of course, he can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants with his channel. That's his style. I have my style. I have my way doing commentary and doing nakita nyo rin naman, me and JC did some boxing commentary on our previous episodes. Ang my intention always, and this is something I learned from the broadcast greats, okay, coming from broadcasting school, is it's not your show. The name may be your show, you may be the host, but it's all about the fighter's story. It's all about highlighting the event. The moment you start
always.
making it about you, okay, the moment you start creating or saying things in order to make it about you, it takes attention away from the event. Then that's not a really good way of doing it. Syempre, again, it's your channel. You can do whatever you want with it. Pero ako lang, whenever I do commentary, whenever I cover events, any event to, boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, submission grappling, I will always do my best to make it about the fighters and to make it about the event, not me. Syempre, gagawin lang naman ni Pao dyan, mag-i-issue siya ng, syempre, kailangan nila ng public apology. He's gonna issue a public apology. He's gonna do it. Diba? He's gonna do it. Pero, we don't know up to what extent is that apology gonna be, and if it's just lip service or if it's a sincere apology, or malalaman na lang natin yan in the next few coverages, in the next few pieces of content that he will create, diba? Of course, we don't know the intention of Pao on saying those things, diba? Pero ewan ko, hindi ko style yun eh. I'll never say nanahimik po ang so-and-so demographic at ang so-and-so religious group. Never. I'll never do that. It's very distasteful. Diba? Hindi siya... You never heard it from me in any broadcast. You've never heard anything like that from John. John is from PH Boxing Corner. We've handled 2 boxing events so far. We've never said anything like that. As far as I know, parang we never... I mean, of course gusto mo maging entertaining yung commentary mo. Of course, gusto mo maging mapansin yung commentary mo. Pero, siguro, pwede mong gawin pwede mong isingit yung Iglesia ni Cristo. Pwede mong isigit yung mga ifugao. Pero, do it differently. Do it in a more positive way. Diba? Kasi pwede mong sabihin na, if I were in that situation, I'd say, nanahimik yung corner ni Martin. Yon. Diba? Nanahimik po yung corner ni nanahimik yung corner ni Martin.
Or yung
Tinignan
audience
nila yung boksingero nila. At ngayon, sumisigaw sila uli kasi gusto nilang tumayo siya at lumaban. Ganon. Oy! Ayan! Ayan, nandito pala si PH Boxing Corner. Ang issue dito, merong yung isang kasamahan natin na nag-cover, meron siyang religious and ethnic group na statement dun sa kanyang live na hindi nagustuhan yung mga kapatid natin na Ifugao at yung mga kapatid natin na Iglesia ni Cristo. Hindi nila nagustuhan yung commentary ni Pao Salud. So ito, sabi ni Hinyaga Animations, gumawa na siya ng video about dyan at reason niya at nagsorry na siya. Ayan. So, I mean, that's very good. Okay? So, kung meron ka na offend and na they said their piece, di ba? If you think that you did wrong and you need to apologize, you apologize. Yun ang importante, yung sinabi ni JC. You have to learn from it and make sure you don't do it again.
Parang sa boxing
yun. Doon natin malalaman.
Parang sa boxing din lang yun eh.
Diba? Doon natin malalaman kung natuto ka na talaga, diba? Kasi ang hirap niyan eh. Nasa mundo na tayo ng we are in the attention economy. We're in the attention economy. There are people like us who will do content like this for the service of the community para ma-highlight yung mga boksingero, ma-highlight yung event, ma-highlight yung mga coaches, yung gyms. Meron ding iba dyan na mga content creators, hindi lang sa boxing, sa lahat ng combat sports na ang hangarin nila ay views. Clicks, views.
Yes.
So, ang gagawin nila ngayon is, pag walang ingay, gagawa sila ng ingay. Pag walang issue, gagawa sila ng issue. Kasi pag merong issue, pag merong pag-uusapan, merong manonood ng content. Hindi
Yes.
lang naman yan nangyayari sa sports, nangyayari rin yan sa politics, nangyayari yan sa
Everywhere.
politics,
Actually.
nangyayari yan sa mga telenovela. Panoorin yung mga simpleng telenovela na lang, di ba? Kailangan laging merong nakakainis na kontrabida, kailangan merong kabit,
Yes.
kailangan merong third party, di ba? Bakit? Kasi na ano yung emotions natin, di ba? Oy, major shoutout. Kasama kong nag-cover din doon si Silver Lining TV. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel, Okay? Yan, Silver Lining TV. Maganda yung boxing content niya sa YouTube channel niya. So, going back to what I said, yun eh. So, nasa sayo talaga yun. Yung content mo ba, yung borderline nakakainis para, di ba, clickbaity. Ang daming clickbaity ngayon. Hindi lang yung channel ni Pao. I'm seeing a lot of medyo matino pa nga yung kay Pao kung tutuusin eh. Di ba? Pero yun nga, if you think that Pao's channel is bad, there are more channels out there with worse content na I'm like, wow, I didn't know na ganito pala to. Sabi ko, di ba? Di ko alam na ganito pala to, di ba? And it's a disservice to the sport. But it's
I see a lot of those.
di ba? Tapos sasabihin lang nila, ito yun nga, tama rin naman sasabihin nila eh. Tama naman eh, di ba? Yun yung content nila, dun sila masaya. Di okay. Pero yun lang yun. Ako, siguro mga 3 or 4 people na yung nag-message sa akin about that incident. Ako sinasabi ko lang, it's not my style. Every time I cover an event, it's going to be about the fighters. It's going to be about the gym. It's always about the promotions. And may market yun eh. So, yung ginagawa ni Pao, may market yun. Yung ginagawa ko, PH Boxing Corner, Destroy MNL, di ba? Baby Dynamite, di ba? Silver Lining TV, Real Fight PH. Yan, may market din yan. Di ba? May market din yan. There are people na panonoorin yung content mo because nakakainis. Di ba? Or they're going to click on that video kasi may issue. And then there are people who are fight fans who will appreciate the science behind it, the technique, the martial arts aspect behind it, and they will watch your content. Nakaano nga lang. Ako pagdating sa ganyan, bro, I've never seen JC do that. I've never seen Karl do that. The really good sports broadcasters that I learned from and who are still my mentors, they've always said, do not say those things, be professional about it. Pero hindi natin alam. Ako, again, it's Pau's channel. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can, di ba, for sure, meron siyang, he's just employing strategies that would be for the benefit of his channel and for the benefit of his brand. So, it's up to him talaga. Pero ako lang, ayan, para po sa mga nag-message sa akin, hindi ko po gagawin yun. Maaasahan yun. Di ako ganon. Di ko style yun. I grew up in the boxing industry. I grew up in the combat sports industry. Lumaki ako sa, I've trained, I've fought in this industry. I've fought in boxing, in Muay Thai, in wrestling, in Jiu-Jitsu, in MMA. I know the people here. I know the coaches. I know the gyms. I mean, the Elorde Grand Ballroom, I've fought in that ballroom so many times. I have so much respect for that venue. I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, yan. At the end of the day, the audience will pick din naman eh. The audience will pick. Sino ba yung... For sure, there are people that hated Pao for doing that. And of course, there are people who understood Pao for saying those things kasi kilala nila si Pao. Alam nila kung anong ibig niyang sabihin doon, di ba? Pero at the end of the day, ano lang yun? It is what it is. Kumaga, di ba? Nasa sayo na. Nasa interpretation mo na yun, di ba? Kasi, I talk a lot of shit all the time. Pero yun nga. Di ba? Yun lang siguro yung differences namin. So again, please, everyone, yun. Let's see in tingnan natin, the coming months, tingnan natin how this will all pan out. How will the Martin camp react to this? And ako kasi, okay, lahat naman ng tao may masasabi. Diba?
Ah,
Para sa akin lang mas maraming there's bigger fish to fry, there's bigger fish to catch, there's more money to
mhm.
make in the
Yeah.
international market than be bothered by this, 'di ba? So I hope it's the end of that.
Mhm.
And tignan natin. Let's see.
Sana hindi na
Final words,
maulit eh.
JC.
Yes, ano.
Oh, sana lang talaga di maulit.
Uh,
Off naman 'yun. Nag-sorry ka
this
na tapos
weekend
inulit
nga
mo pa.
pala, oo. This weekend nga pala, wag niyong kalimutan. Nakalimutan nata ni Franco eh. URCC 78 Unbreakable, live in Olongapo City. Available na din
Yes.
siya on pay-per-view. You can go to the URCC website. 99 pesos lang yung pay-per-view. Kung hihingi pa naman kayo
Sulit
ng
na
free
sulit
links dito,
'yan.
ewan ko na lang.
Okay. 'Di ba? 99 pesos, sobrang gandang fight card that's going to be support local MMA. We are back on
Mhm.
track. We are going to officiate that fight. It's
Mhm.
going to be a very good fight card. Tapos meron tayong first ever 3-on-3 female edition. Okay?
Mhm.
Sinabi ni Bin. Ang haba nung sinabi ni Bin. Anyway, so again, that's going to be live at Olongapo City. We're going to referee the fights there. We're going to be there, and
Mhm.
please, the link is on the comment section. JC put it there. Tignan natin.
Yes.
Support Filipino fighters, support Filipino promotions, and that's it. Please
Mhm.
look for JC Reyes. Follow him on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Diba? And I am on social media as well. Coach Franco's Corner on Facebook and on YouTube. Follow me on
Mhm.
Instagram and on TikTok, Franco Rulloda. And we will see you next week on another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Good job, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much.